And now it's time for the Joe Cronin Show. You're listening to the Joe Cronin Show, a wrestling podcast with attitude. Body slam that subscribe button. Joe Cronin is God. You guys seriously listen to this guy?
Good evening, everybody. This is State of the WWE episode. I don't know what episode, but it'll be in the title. I'll figure it out and I'll put it in the title. How about that? IC title, The Miz, Maurice. I like them hooking up. I really do. I like the addition of the two of them. I think they've gotten some decent heat. I think my confusion is I felt that the IC title had been elevated to a different status, and now I feel like it's kind of going backwards a little bit. I do like Ryder. I'm happy he won the title. I'm not surprised he lost it the night after WrestleMania, which was a big giant waste in my opinion. And I just think it's overall bizarre. I would have liked Maurice to be paired with him for them to do that without the title being there, but that's okay. So I am happy about it. I'm just a little questioning where the IC title is going, which is it's a very coveted title. It's very important to me, and I just hope that it doesn't get wasted and thrown away and messed up. That being said, let's move on to Owens and Sami Zayn. Owens and Sami Zayn, man. These two guys, we know where they're going to feud. And we know that's why they don't need the Intercontinental title there for this rivalry that they're going to have. Although, part of me wishes it was really there. Because if it was there, I think it would also enhance everything. But it's so personal, it may... Sometimes the Intercontinental belt is needed in these personal rivalries. Like, I feel like Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon was like both a best of both worlds. We feel like these two guys really don't like each other. These two guys are really competitive with each other, but these two guys also really care about the gold, and they really want the gold. And that gold is very important. That's what I felt about Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels. I even felt it about Razor Ramon and Double J, Jeff Jarrett. And I felt it about Roddy Piper and Bret the Hitman Hart. I felt it about many other people who carried the IC title in rivalries. Going forward, that was in the past more, going forward into the Attitude Era with the IC title. And then it got tossed around kind of like hot potato, and that's when it kind of lost its luster. So I feel like the personal rivalry elevates the title because, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, one of them can say, you've been following me. Kevin Owens' whole thing could be like, you've been following me my whole career, Sammy. You're always right behind me trying to mooch off of what I'm doing. Well, I did it first. I know it kills you inside that I got the belt first, that my family got paid first, that I've taken care of my family, and this title has secured my family's lives because of the money I make and the success that I have, and you want that because you're still just a loser. You're still a flash in the pan. And Sami Zayn, feeling like, man, this guy Sami Zayn, he just got up here, he's hungry, he doesn't have a title victory, he could be gone, if he doesn't do well in the WWE. And here's Kevin Owens with the success, and now he's got the title. I feel like that whole story just compiles to their personal rivalry, and I feel like the IC belt on the line just would mean so much. I almost feel like the quicker you could have gotten it off Miz and Zack Ryder and put it back onto Owens would have been better. I almost feel like you could have the Miz and Zack Ryder now, believe it or not, they actually do have a personal rivalry. So if you were to counter my argument, you would say, well, the Miz screwed Zack Ryder out of his, he had his moment, then the very next night he had it ripped away from him, he cheated. And I gotta be honest, I do feel a slight rivalry with these two now. I believe in it. Of course there's a rivalry because they set that up, but I believe in it a little bit. I really do. So then you could really make an argument for either side. I think obviously the Miz and Zack Ryder has the more cartoony story, but it's more similar to like a Razor Ramon Jeff Jarrett story, where Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn kind of have this rivalry that we don't really know. Other than it being very somehow personal, we don't really know exactly why it is. Like, I know why, and you guys know why, most of you. But maybe some of the casual WWE audience doesn't understand what's happening. These two guys don't like each other. Okay, we get that. But there's no other story really to be told to these casual WWE fans that don't watch that don't watch NXT rather. So if they don't watch NXT and they don't watch those things, they don't know. Why am I supposed to care that these guys have some kind of rivalry? You know, they have no idea. They're thinking like, I don't know, but I do know why The Miz and Zack Ryder have a rivalry. The Miz cheated and used his wife to do it, or used some girl to do it, if they're new fans. So you really can make an argument that to the casual WWE audience, The Miz and Zack Ryder have a rivalry. And you could ask them, why do they have a rivalry? They would tell you. But if you ask them, why does Zayn and Kevin Owens have a rivalry? They wouldn't know. The casual fan doesn't know. They don't watch NXT and they don't know that stuff. They don't know they wrestled together. They don't know the Canadian connection. They don't know that stuff. They would say, I don't know, they don't like each other. That would be their answer. So you're talking about maybe 60 to 50% of your audience, maybe 50% of your audience, has no clue why Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens don't like each other. So that's why we're all screaming that this makes more sense to put the IC belt on the line here. But really, this rivalry is for us. This rivalry is for the 30 to 40% of the WWE audience that watch NXT and that are, into it. I don't even want to use smarks and marks anymore because those terms are so vague now. You could have a smart mark, a mark smark, a person that just knows everything and isn't trying to be smart. They just know everything. They've been watching every piece of information the WWE's put out there. The lines are blurred more than they've ever been, and that's the way things are. And that's why you can think about this rivalry that way, and I still have no good answer as to who they should put the title on, because as an NXT guy, as a person who loves Owens and knows what they're capable of, Owens, Kevin Steen, and Kevin Owens, Jesus. Someday I'll stop saying Kevin Steen. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. We know what they're capable of, but The Miz and Zack Ryder right now have a more interesting, to the WWE casual fan, have a more believable rivalry because they understand. The other fans just think, oh, it's Kevin Owens attacked Sami Zayn. That must be why they don't like each other. Anyway, that's just a little point I wanted to make, and I thought you guys might think it's all interesting. Of course, later on in this program, we're going to get into AJ Styles. Will he be able to beat Roman Reigns? I'm going to talk about Dr. Phil in a minute, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, and, of course, some more stuff as well. Interesting stuff on the video of Linda McMahon. I'm going to get into some of this stuff in just a second, guys. We'll be right back. I'm going to talk about AJ Styles and Reigns and Dr. Phil on Raw, which pisses me off. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Watch Joe Cronin rage in video games on twitch.tv/Spectrum Gaming 617. Follow him now, twitch.tv/Spectrum Gaming 617.
The Joe Cronin Show is brought to you by WrestleCrate. WrestleCrate.com. Use the coupon code JOESENDME for 10% off the month subscription box.
Want to support the Joe Cronin Show? Then go to patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. You can support with only $1 a month. That's $12 a year. And Joe Cronin appreciates the fuck out of you for it. Become an insider and get special perks for doing it. Support the Joe Cronin Show on patreon.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to State of the WWE. My name is Joe Cronin. Make sure you remember to follow me on Twitter, at Joe Cronin Show on Twitter. And, of course, subscribe right here to the YouTube channel. Over 31,000 subscribers, and we're 20 million views. We're absolutely phenomenal, guys. Follow me on Instagram.com/Joe Cronin Show as well and see the pics that I like to post. AJ Styles beating Roman Reigns. There is so many different things that could happen. My money would be on the fact that, obviously Roman Reigns would just beat AJ Styles in a very good match. A very close, very good competitive match, and there may even be interference that would allow Roman Reigns to continue to be the champion. I think that's maybe less likely. How WWE I see booking it would be that I'm still thinking about him. Roman Reigns would beat AJ Styles. It would be an epic type of match. You get all you can out of Styles' wrestling ability with Roman, and then Roman's the champion still. And that's how it's going to go. That's what you do if you're pushing Roman Reigns, which is all the WWE has seemingly done, is push Roman Reigns and push him and push him and push him. Despite the fact that we knew what was going to happen at WrestleMania, they went along with it anyway. Like it was a Nintendo game or like it was Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 5, 6, 7, you name it. Well, not 6, but you know what I mean. The All-American Hulk Hogan happy story push. And I know it was a success to some of the younger kids who are Roman Reigns fans. I'm sure they were like, this is amazing. I love Roman Reigns. He is Superman. He beat the evil Triple H. I'm sure that maybe 25% of the audience that are young little kids felt that way or watching at home too. Absolutely think that that's true. There is a struggle in my mind to give the WWE a hard time versus not give the WWE a hard time. The struggle is in my brain because think of this, guys. Why do me and JD get mad at the WWE? It's because we're not getting the WWE Championship used the way we want it to be used. But the WWE has to cater to all kinds of different fans. They really friggin' do. This is crazy. Like, they have to cater to so many different people that it's unbelievable. They have to cater to the 40% of their crowd that are us. The 40% that are just hardcore wrestling fans. We want to watch NXT. We want to watch the network. We want to watch real wrestling with Attitude Era type storylines. They have to try to cater to us. Then they have to cater to the casual fans who don't know a damn thing, but if WWE Raw is coming to their local area, they're like, ooh, Roman Reigns is cool. Then they have to cater to the little kids. Then they have to cater to the little kids' parents and make sure that it's PG enough, or the little kids' parents might not let the little kids watch. You know, and there's different levels of all those audiences, by the way. So I do admit that it is hard for them to balance all these things. But my biggest argument about WWE, my biggest problem with it, is that some of the writing and the booking decisions, even though you have to cater to all these other audiences, you can still make these stories better and you can still make better booking decisions. That's a fact. I'm willing to understand. You know, a lot of us need to understand right now that the WWE World Heavyweight title is a microcosm of everybody in the WWE universe. Like it's all one thing. It's all one unit. It's all connected. If you want to see some amazing wrestling and great characters, obviously NXT is the place to go. You're covered. If you want to see some of that on the main roster, you got AJ Styles and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. You're covered a little bit. But if you're expecting the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, who'll be on the NBC Today Show and other places like that, to be a wrestler's wrestler, to be the 40% of the WWE audience's wrestler, then you are going to probably be disappointed, which is why we are disappointed. Although I would take Reigns heel. Yes, we would. But the other 40% of the crowd that are kids, casual fans, and women, these women that don't know anything about wrestling, that just want to see Roman Reigns privates, they're ruining it for you. But many of them will say that you're ruining it for them. Some wrestling fans who think the WWE can do no wrong, and I see them on the message boards all over the place. You're ruining it. You guys are trying to be part of the show. They actually believe this. I don't think this at all. Like, they think the crowd is trying to ruin the show or be part of the show instead or make it more about them, and they're just disgusted. It's like, no, I think the crowd is trying to voice their opinions. So that night when people chanted, this is bullshit, and fuck PG at the NXT TakeOver in Dallas. By the way, NXT TakeOver in Dallas, one of the greatest pay-per-view, or not pay-per-view, but yeah, I'll lump it in. I'll just say it's a pay-per-view. NXT Dallas was one of the greatest wrestling events ever. One of the greatest ever. It's in the top 20, It might be. It's probably in the top 10. To me, it's in my top 10 of WWE events of all time. That is freaking crazy. So for these people to chant, this is bullshit and fuck PG, and then for some people to all of a sudden say that they were trying to, all these people do is chant to take over the show. Get the fuck out of here. Would you rather listen to these people chant fuck PG because they're so passionate about wrestling that they're willing to swear and chant and go crazy? Or would you rather go to one of these fucking southern states, and not that there's anything wrong with our southern states, but it tends to be in some of the southern states in the U.S. that the crowds are just fucking dead. There are many smart fans in the southern states and loud fans, but they just don't go. They don't go because it sucks. Some of wrestling's biggest fans are in the South. I swear to God, they stay home. But the families go out. Those southern families go out to the show. So, would you rather it be one of those shows, like in Tennessee that we had last year, where everyone's just dead quiet, just being sucked to death by this horror that they're watching in the middle of the ring? Or would you rather a crowd that was raucous and cheering and doing loud chants throughout the NXT show as they enjoyed it, and then when they became displeased by something, chanted something negative like fuck PG? I'd rather see that crowd. Would you rather go to a hockey game and your team, like my Boston Bruins the other night, played like garbage, and the fans started booing them and jeering and chanting terrible things? Would you just want the crowd to shut their mouths and just pay your $800 for your ticket and watch your team collapse, as they've done multiple times throughout the year, and don't say anything because you're trying to take over the show or get the spotlight on you fans? How dare you, fans? These people that write this in the chats are nothing more than pussies, okay? They're nothing more. They've got a WWE logo up their asshole. And most likely they're posers, or they got something wrong with their brain. And in fact, I don't even want to comment on them much further because I'm afraid that some of them are a little bit special up there. And if that's the case, then I don't want to pick on them at all. They're entitled to say whatever they want to say, but I'm entitled to rip you apart too. And it's bullshit. Grow a pair of balls. Okay? Take over the show. The show has taken over our lives. Wasted us all away in some cases. But hey, I'm doing this because I love the product. There's a whole lot of shit that I love about the WWE. I'm here because when the good moments happen, they're so good. Look at what happened, guys. What if I quit watching WWE? What if I canceled the network 6 months ago and I quit watching WWE? I never would have saw NXT take over Dallas. Okay? I wouldn't have seen Shane McMahon jump off a Hell in a Cell. I wouldn't have gotten to see Sasha at WrestleMania, only to lose in a stupid-ass booking decision for an old man to interfere in the match and be the reason someone's gotten the first women's championship. Ridiculous. But I wouldn't have seen any of that if I hadn't been watching. So those good pop mark-out moments are why I continue to sift through some of the bad. The bad booking of Bray Wyatt, who, as far as I'm concerned, is dead to me. Bray Wyatt is dead to me. I think Bray Wyatt's great. I think the man is great. Mike Rotunda's kids are great. Everything that family's done has been good. But WWE, for whatever reason, doesn't know what to do. They are literally involved in a character that is so full of possibilities and scenarios and situations, yet they have no idea what to do with them. It leads me to believe that Bray Wyatt pissed somebody off backstage. Because why else would he be written like a fucking homicide journal? I mean, like, what is happening? He's written like a horror story. In fact, that doesn't even make any sense because a horror story is fun to read. Bray Wyatt is written, I can't even compare it. What would you, there's nothing you would write that would be as bad as what Bray Wyatt's done. That's the answer. They're not writing. I figured it out. In what I just said, none of what I said made sense because it can't make sense because you can't write anything for Bray Wyatt like that because it would be good. No one's writing for him. That's what it is. You know what they're writing down is Bray Wyatt loses. That's what they're writing down. Bray Wyatt loss. Bray Wyatt loses. I don't know what we're going to do with him tonight, but he's going to come out and everyone's going to fucking hold their fireflies in the air, and then he's going to come out in the ring and he's going to lose. Bray Wyatt's going to come out and say a bunch of menacing shit. Oh, you don't know what I'm capable of. And then he's going to lose. That's what's going to happen. Bullshit. Anyway, the whole reason why we started this whole rant was because AJ Styles versus Reigns. AJ Styles versus Reigns, I think, again, it's going to be a really good matchup. And then Reigns is going to win, and I'm going to want to kill myself. And that's how it's going to go unless the Bullet Club stuff is happening, which brings me to the next thing. Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. God damn, am I sick of hearing about Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. I am absolutely sick to my stomach of reading article after article after article, and believe me, if it came from the Wrestling Observer, I am even more disgusted. Every time I read an article and then it says, source, Wrestling Observer, I become sick to my stomach. There is nothing more puke-inducing than looking at source, Wrestling Observer. Absolute chunks flying out of my mouth, hitting people in the face as I walk down the street to get a Pepsi from the local store. Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, however, are rumored to be traveling to Raw, and they could be here this Monday night. I don't know if they're going to appear, but they're saying this is fact that they're heading to Raw. Doesn't mean they'll appear, but there's rumor that they're heading to Raw. Will they appear before the pay-per-view, Payback? Will they appear at the pay-per-view and surprise everyone? Will there be a Bullet Club, Bulletproof, Bullet, whatever you want to call it, happening at Payback or at Monday Night Raw? Everyone's talking about that. In fact, it's getting to the point where there's so many rumors about this that if it doesn't happen, I'm going to be disappointed. Even though I told you a minute ago that I see WWE making Roman win clean, which is what we would think they would do, unless this was all a master plan to start this Bulletproof Bullet Club thing and head into a more realistic NXT type mode. I don't know if that's what they're planning. We will definitely know, though. I mean, like, I'm already committed to what's happening with this Roman stuff, and we're going to have to deal with this. But if Payback, if the night after Payback, the Raw after Payback closes, and we have no Bullet Club, none of that type of stuff happening, then I will probably not speak of this again, ever. But there's what's on the line right now. I'm going to tell you what I think about Dr. Phil and talk about this video of Shane's kids and Linda McMahon in just a second. After this quick commercial break, we'll be right back.
Watch Joe Cronin rage in video games on twitch.tv/Spectrum Gaming 617. Follow him now, twitch.tv/Spectrum Gaming 617. Want to support the Joe Cronin Show? Then go to patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. You can support with only $1 a month. That's $12 a year. And Joe Cronin appreciates the fuck out of you for it. Become an insider and get special perks for doing it. Support the Joe Cronin Show on patreon.com.
Welcome back to the show, guys. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Joe Cronin Show. My name is Joe. And if you haven't done so yet and you're still listening, make sure to click that like button. Also want you guys to leave a comment in the comment section of this video if you can. I want you to write in the comment section below, Dr. Phil's booty. How about that? Or Dr. Phil's booty, something like that. Be funny. I'll do it. So we got Dr. Phil coming to Monday Night Raw. Possibly one of the most annoying asshats I've ever heard in my life. Can't stand this stupid bastard. I really can't stand him. I don't think he's really a doctor, by the way. I don't believe he is. Everything about him screams Mr. Potato Head. And I am sickened that I'm going to have to stare at his face on Monday Night Raw. I'm hoping that Kevin Owens powerbombs him through a table. It may be likely that you see Roman Reigns do something to him, because you know Dr. Phil's going to get booed, right? Like, we all understand Dr. Phil is going to get booed. People are going to be annoyed by him, most likely. And if the WWE were to have Reigns be the one to take him off the set or take him out or whatever it is, shut him up, that would get a big pop for I think the crowd would pop. It'd be a cheap deal. I could so see the WWE doing that. But I'm going to go ahead and say that probably that won't happen and nobody will do any harm to Dr. Phil, although I'd like to. His voice irritates me. His bald head irritates me. His stupid mustache irritates me. His essence irritates me. Everything about him irritates me. And I'm fucking sick to my stomach thinking that I'm going to have to stare at his fuck ass in a suit come Monday Night Raw. Like, you can hear the visceral tone in my voice. I am absolutely disgusted and disappointed in the WWE for bringing this guy on the show. Nobody wants to see him. Nobody wants to hear from him. But we're going to get some Roman Reigns and Dr. fucking Phil. I'm telling you what, if this Monday Night Raw sucks and I have to see Dr. Phil for even 2 seconds, not only am I going to give this rating a 1 for Monday Night Raw, but I swear to God, we will all tweet Dr. Phil into the very next day, the dawn of the next morning. Disgusted. Which brings me to the last point I wanted to make here. Video of Shane McMahon's kid in the front row of NXT TakeOver Dallas when everyone was chanting, "This is bullshit," or "bullshit." He was chanting it too. Which was great to see, by the way. However, when the chants turned to "fuck PG," Linda McMahon leaned over to him and sternly must have said, "You better not be doing that chant." And she looked irritated, and people in the comments section, the comments section were both ridiculous. One side was saying, like, of course she's upset and she's bitter and she's mad. You'd be mad too if a bunch of idiots were trying to take over the show for themselves. Well, the guy that wrote that comment is a dickhead. And then there were other people that were saying, well, why is she so serious and mean? Like, this is why the WWE is bad. Are you looking at me for a reason? What? The bottom line is this. Linda McMahon is, she's an older adult at this point, you know what I mean? Does Linda McMahon really want to sit there and hear people say, "fuck PG," and "this is bullshit," and all that type of stuff? Probably not really. She probably doesn't want to listen to that, And, of course, her 12-year-old grandson is there next to her. She probably doesn't want him exposed to that or him to, be involved in those chants. So I'm sure I would just say more like uncomfortable disappointment is what I saw on Linda McMahon's face. Now, Stephanie was laughing the whole time. I don't have a problem with that at all. I just think it was, I don't blame Linda McMahon for not being very happy with it. But I also don't blame the crowd for chanting it. And I don't blame anybody for that. And I can't blame her for telling her 12-year-old, you better not be cheering "fuck PG," You better not be chanting that. Because first of all, she doesn't want him saying "fuck," probably. Second of all, she probably doesn't want him, what's the word? Discrediting or, the company. And also not wanting him to be embarrassed either. I mean, look at the video. There's already video of this out. Nor do I have an issue with the person who filmed it. I don't have a problem with the person who filmed it either. That's a little bizarre that you were filming over there. But you got their reaction, man. I mean, you can't be mad at this guy who filmed it. Guy caught something interesting on tape. Can't blame him. Well, the guy's doing other weird things. I mean, that'd be bizarre. He's in the crowd with everybody else. He took a video. I don't have a problem with that. That's not a problem. So I have no problem with anybody. What anybody did. I don't have a problem with the crowd chanting "fuck PG." I like that Stephanie was laughing. That's funny. I like that Linda McMahon told her grandson, you're not going to be doing "fuck PG." So I don't have a problem with what anybody did in that situation. It was just interesting to see it. Of course she wasn't happy with that. I don't know how she feels about NXT in the whole night. That'd be interesting to talk to her about it. We'll never get Linda McMahon on my show, I bet, though. But she's seems like a great lady, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know anything else far beyond that. But that's what happened. The video's up, and you guys can go look at it on the web. And tell me what you think of it. It's kind of interesting. I went crazy that night too, chanting all that stuff and sending messages. And the bottom line is, if Samoa Joe had a really bad cut, I mean, they had to do something. They probably had to do something. And honestly, if the product wasn't so PG, and it was, it wasn't, basically if the product wasn't so PG, the fans wouldn't have been that angry. All the WWE main roster showed up on their NXT show. That's what they felt like. When all of a sudden they had to stop and try to fix Joe over and over again, the crowd took it personally. Like, this is somehow the main roster made its way here because they have to patch him up. If they never bled, there would have been no negative chance. I thought the blood added to the match. I thought it added to the hysteria of the crowd. It added to the match. It made things interesting. It seemed brutal. I loved it, and it was a complete accident and a mistake, but it was so good. So, yes, it's PG, but no, you can still go on the network and watch the blood. They didn't edit anything out, so go watch it, man. They had to clean the guy up, but you still got to see it. It's not really about PG. I don't think the patching up Joe is really about PG because they don't censor the blood. You're on the network, which is TV 14, guys. We got to remember that too. The network is TV 14, so it's funny. I get that the chant was aimed at the main roster, is what it was. Even if the show was TV 14 now, I believe they'd be patching up Joe anyway because it's a safety thing now. The safety standards have changed, so I don't think it would have mattered. It wasn't necessarily directly because it was PG. But anyway, and I gotta admit, I lost my mind that night. I was screaming FPG, and this is stupid, and here we go with this bullshit, and they gotta do this. I was screaming, man. I was like a wild animal, like an asshole. I do have one issue with Mick Foley's, speaking out saying, like, I blocked, he blocked certain people because he said the safety of a wrestler and all this other stuff. It's like, but you know what? You did far worse in your day. All of a sudden, it's a problem? I don't like that. I don't agree with Mick Foley. Mick Foley did some crazy shit to entertain me. And I cheered for it every time. And I understand the flip side to where you think, I'm going to get this big pop, I'm going to do something crazy, and the fans are going to cheer for it. But then I can understand when you don't do something crazy enough, or when the fans scream for you to bleed. There is a difference. It does feel different when you voluntarily say, I'm going to go do this and set this crowd off. And you do it and the crowd pops, you feel amazingly good. But when you're in the ring and you haven't done anything yet, and maybe you're going to, or whatever it is, and the crowd starts chanting like, this is boring, or let him bleed, or we want blood, you start feeling like a piece of shit. You start feeling like a dog, like an animal, like just a circus rat who's there to entertain these people and die if you have to for these people to be entertained, and you get an ugly feeling about that. So that may be where Mick Foley was coming from when he blocked people saying the wrestlers' lives are more important. I get that because I understand both sides of it. When you voluntarily decide to take a risk to make people explode, that is so gratifying. But when you're involved in a match and nothing's happened yet and you have fans screaming for your blood or to do something, or this is boring, you feel terrible. And it's the opposite effect. I could see that. Maybe some people don't care either way. But I do see that there's a good and an evil side to the crowd sometimes in that manner of speaking. I understand that. But those are my thoughts. I don't know if we got in so much about the state of the WWE tonight, but I enjoyed doing this show for you anyway. I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Joe Cronin Show. Click that red subscribe button if this is your first time listening through. Every Sunday, I do a recorded state of the WWE with myself and Justin Bailey and some other guests like Devious Dave Rose and Jesse. Tonight, it was just me solo. But I hope you guys enjoyed it every single week on Sunday, State of the WWE. And of course, live on YouTube after every WWE event. Or Monday Night Raw, pay-per-view, those type of things. We go live from my channel. We take your phone calls. Hundreds of you guys are watching live as we take your phone calls. And I also want to promote, guys, Wednesday nights, Out of Nowhere with JD from New York on my channel. JD comes over to my channel, and we do Out of Nowhere, a fun-ass wrestling show. We take your calls, and we do it live on Wednesdays. And if you guys like guy talk, late-night drinking, late-night kind of shenanigans, Friday nights, it's not really wrestling-related, so if you don't like that, don't be there. But if you do, if you are entertained by a little bit of the old shock jock style, Friday nights at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time, it's called Monetize This. We're over 60 episodes. It's incredible. Friday nights, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, check out my gaming channels, twitch.tv/Spectrum Gaming 617 and Spectrum Gaming 617 on YouTube. The final thing that I wanted to say before I get out of here is, guys, if you are in the Massachusetts or New England area and you want to get away or you want to come see a show, Brockton, Massachusetts, April 29th, 2016. That's right, April 29th, 2016 in Brockton, Massachusetts. Top Rope Promotions is going to be live. Veda Scott is going to be there. I'm going to be there doing the commentary for Top Rope Promotions. So come out, say hi, have a good time, cheer loudly, and make sure you tell them Joe sent you. And I'll be there. We'll drink a beer together. We'll have some fun. And dude, this place has been rocking the last few shows. So April 29th, Brockton, Mass. I hope to see you there, guys. This is State of the WWE. Thanks for subscribing. And I will see you tomorrow night after Raw.
Hello, everybody there, right there on the Joe Cronin Show. It's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing you and everyone the very best.
This is the Epic Voice Guy, and I can honestly say Joe Cronin is God.